Today's Daily Read Aloud is My Adventures with Cinderella from the My Adventures with Disney Princess collection. Cinderella lived with her father, who loved her very much. He took her horseback riding and told her stories about castles and magic. One day, he married again, but not long afterwards, he died. Cinderella, left in the care of her stepmother and two spoilt stepsisters, Drizella and Anastasia, was now a servant in her own home. Alyssa Bevequa lived at 11 Monkhouse Drive in Endeavour Hills, not far from his friend Cinderella. One day, when he went to visit Cinderella, he found everyone in a state of great excitement. "The king has invited all of the young women to a ball," Cinderella told Alyssa. "His son, the prince, will be there. Drizella and Anastasia don't want me to go, but my stepmother has said that if I can finish all of my chores, I can." "How exciting," said Alyssa. "I'll help you." "Do you have a gown?" asked Alyssa. He knew that Cinderella's mean stepmother rarely bought her any clothes. "I have an old dress. With some fixing up, it will be fine," said Cinderella. The two friends worked very hard, cleaning and helping the stepsisters to get ready. At last, they rushed to Cinderella's bedroom, high up in the tower. There was hardly any time left to work on Cinderella's old dress. To their surprise, dear Gus and Jacques and their friends the mice and birds had secretly turned it into a beautiful gown. Cinderella slipped it on and raced downstairs. She looked so beautiful that her jealous stepsisters tore the gown to shreds. The wicked stepsisters and their mother left for the ball. Poor Cinderella ran out into the garden and wept. Alyssa went with her, feeling very sad for his friend. Suddenly, a strange glow appeared in the garden. It was Cinderella's fairy godmother. Waving her magic wand, she turned a pumpkin into a magnificent coach, and the mice into 4 beautiful horses. Alyssa watched with disbelief as Cinderella's rags turned into a shimmering gown, and on her feet appeared a pair of glass slippers that glittered like diamonds. Cinderella and Alyssa climbed into the coach. "There, off you go," said the kindly fairy godmother. "But beware, you must return before the spell is broken at the stroke of midnight." When they arrived at the palace, Cinderella ran up the stairs and was swept into a dream world. Everyone stared at the beautiful girl, but not even her family knew who she was. The prince couldn't take his eyes off Cinderella. They danced together all evening, falling deeply in love. Alyssa watched from the balcony, and he wished that his friends Jacinta, Diana, and Papa Bevequa could also be there to enjoy the magical evening. Later on, the prince and Cinderella walked into the palace gardens and found Alyssa. Cinderella wanted her friend to meet the prince. Alyssa was so shy he could barely speak. But he was very kind. The prince asked him when his birthday was. He told him it was on the 29th of August. "Did you know that your birthday is a peridot?" he asked as he took the beautiful jewel out of his pocket and gave it to Alyssa. The prince and Cinderella went inside and danced again. Suddenly, it was close to midnight and Cinderella raced down the grand staircase. In her haste, she lost one of her glass slippers. On the way home, the magic wore off and the coach turned back into a pumpkin and the horses became mice again. "Oh, Alyssa, what a magical, wonderful night," sighed Cinderella. "You looked so beautiful, Cinderella," said Alyssa, "and you still have your glass slipper to remember it by." "Yes, and you still have your beautiful peridot," said Cinderella. "Now we both have mementos of an enchanting evening." The next day, the prince sent the Grand Duke in search of the mysterious young woman who'd danced with the prince. When he called at their house with the glass slipper, Cinderella's stepmother locked her in her room. Drizella and Anastasia tried to force their feet into the slipper, but it didn't fit. Somehow, Cinderella's friends, Gus and Jacques, were able to free her, and she ran downstairs. Suddenly, she heard a crash and saw that the slipper brought by the Grand Duke was broken. Pulling the other slipper from her pocket, she slipped it onto her foot. It proved she was the one they were looking for. Soon, it was announced that Cinderella and the prince were getting married. There was a beautiful wedding at the palace. Alyssa was there too, as a page boy. Cinderella wanted her friend, who had helped her so much, to be part of her special day. Cinderella was now a princess, and sometimes Alyssa went to the palace to visit, and occasionally Jacinta, Diana, and Papa Bavequa went too. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. We have a new story every day, so make sure you subscribe. The end.